Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Marquita here with Late Nights Early Mornings, and I am here to give you guys a little bit of a plant show. As you guys know, I do collect house plants. Also, I do a little outdoor gardening when I do have outdoor space. I went to Lowe's today. Today is actually Friday. It'll be Sunday when you see this, but I actually went to Lowe's today to check out. Really, I went to see if they had their herbs and things like that in, because what I want to do this year for my outdoor gardening area is do like a mint garden with different varieties of mint and probably basil. So probably mint and basil garden. I love the different varieties. I've done several varieties before of both mint and basil, and I think I want to do that again, especially since I do have a balcony. It's not as big as the one that I had before, but I do like those particular herbs, and there are lots of cooking uses for them. So also, I am going to show you guys today the houseplants that I ended up picking up. Why? Because Lowe's has not, at least the Lowe's near me, does not have those items in yet. So I don't know if it's still a little too early for them to get in, like their herbs and food type things to plant yet, or if that particular Lowe's doesn't carry it. I don't know, because again, I'm still somewhat new to the area. But either way, I ended up browsing the house plant aisle, and I did take some other footage that I may do a separate video just to kind of show you what they had later on. But I want to show you what I ended up buying and talk a little bit about that. So not only bought 3 different plants, and actually none of them are new to me in terms of having owned them. Like, I've owned this particular type of plant before, and when you see them, you'll recognize it. So let's go ahead and get into those. I'll start with just what's in front of me. So this first one here, it's interesting that they call this a red and. That's the name that they're giving it now. But if you remember, I had what we call a nerve plant that looked like this, and it had the red and the green mixture. And so I'm just wondering if the red and is just another name for it. I'll Google it and look into it. But either way, this is a 10-ounce size plant, and it is part of the wick and grow system. So that's like where you have the little, these are the wicks, these strings. When you go in Lowe's, they usually have these sitting in like a tray, and so the wicks are down in there, and that's how they absorb the water, and that's how the wicks work in general. They absorb water. Now they do sell vases or planters, rather, couldn't find the word there, planters that go with this particular system, and I did buy one of them. I will say that the ones in Lowe's can be kind of pricey, depending on, especially as they get larger in size, but they do have some really pretty patterns and designs. And like I said, I did buy one, so I'll show you that and show you how everything goes together. But first, we'll just talk about the plants. Again, this is the 10-ounce, and all of my plants are from Exotic Angels plants, and that tends to be, I guess, like where Lowe's gets most of their house plants from. And so all the ones that I bought from them, for the most part, are from this company. It's the Costa Farms company, or Costa Farms rather, company. And they also, Costa Farms also sells plants on Amazon, like some house plants, and they recently had a sale, so I need to check that out too. But they are a pretty good company, and my plants are usually pretty healthy. So if you see this particular tag, the Exotic Angel plants, you know that you're getting a pretty good and healthy plant. And this one again is called the Red Ann. It's from Peru, and it's a low light plant. So that's great, and that was another thing I was looking for, were plants that didn't require a lot of light, because unlike my old apartment where I literally have that window, that like the window sill in the entire living dining room area, I don't have that much. I do have very large windows here, which are nice, but I don't have like a window sill that I can sit the plants in, and so it has to be whatever type of planter or thing that I purchased to put them in the window to get sun. So I don't have a lot of space to do that, so I'm trying to get plants that don't necessarily need to be in sunlight. They'll be fine if they're just in the house in a well-lit room, maybe in the bathroom, something like that. This plant was $5.48 for this size, and most of the 10-ounce plants are $5.48 for in this section. So you just have a look at that. They're calling this red, so it's kind of a reddish pink, but I like my colors, so there you go. The next plant that I have here, this was actually on the clearance slash last chance section, which is funny because I wonder if they put it on there because whoever was marking them down didn't realize that this particular plant, if it looks very familiar, it's because I do already own one of these. It is a Snow White waffle plant. And this is the one that's the variant of the chocolate waffle plant, like I had the purple waffle plant that I have as well. So you guys know I already have one of these that's doing great, and you know the texture is like that kind of crinkly look, and I wonder if they thought that the plant was like dying or whatever because it was like all crinkled up, not realizing that's how the plant actually is supposed to look. But either way, I don't care, because that means that this plant, because this size is the 15 ounce, and this particular plant would be $7.98 if you were buying it, you know, full price. But because it was marked down on clearance, it was actually $4. So it was cheaper than the 10 ounce. Most of the 15 ounces are usually $7.98. So it's pretty easy to figure out. If you get a 10 ounce, you're going to pay $5.98, and then, or I'm sorry, $5.48, and then the 15 ounces are $7.98. So that's usually standard across the board for the sizing. But like I said, this one only was $4. There's a couple of leaves that are actually like dead, but it just looks like to me the normal like loss of leaves that you typically get. Like even my plant here that's doing great, you know, it loses leaves here and there. So I don't actually see anything wrong with this plant. But I really think they just didn't realize that the plant is actually okay. And they also had a whole bunch of them in stock for regular price, so I'm not sure what the deal was, but either way, I will take it and nurse it back to health. And I think I'm going to plant it in the same self-watering planter as its now sibling is in, because it does have the wicking system as well. All of the ones in these containers come like this, so you could buy tons of Allen and Roth planters if you want, but this size planter is usually about $10 or $11 by itself, so you'd be paying more than like twice as much as the plant or more, just for the planter. So you guys saw that I ordered the ones that I have, those white self-waterings from Amazon. My air just kicked on, so excuse the background noise. But I think I'm going to put it in one of those because its sibling is doing great, and I think it'll do fine. So I'm going to repot it and put it in that one. And those particular planters come with their own wick, so I'll put the video up here if you haven't seen that one before, where you can see those planters and you can order some if you like. They come in 2 different sizes from what I've seen. Alright, so that's my Snow White waffle plant, and again it is a exotic angel plant by Coastal Farms. And last but not least, we have this little beauty here that I'm just sitting it in here. I don't know if I'm going to actually use this one in this particular planter, if I'm going to put the nerve plant in here, simply because it's a little taller. But this is the planter that I purchased by Allen and Roth, and that's the brand that they tend to have in Lowe's. I don't know if there's another brand that has the wick and grow system, but you guys remember the black stand that my plants are sitting on is also Allen and Roth, so I think that's like Lowe's and Allen and Roth got a thing going on. But they have all different colors, they got some cute patterns, designs, whatever. The prices do vary based on the size of the planter, and so it can get kind of expensive if you're getting a lot of plants or you have larger plants. This is a smaller plant, so these are the 10 ounce plants. They do have some a little smaller as well, but the way this works is that let me introduce you to my little plant though. This is the polka dot plant. You guys know I had a pink polka dot plant before. It was the one that was growing all up in the blinds at my other apartment. So this is the pink polka dot plant here. It was $5.48 as well, just like the red and plant, the first plant I showed you guys, also part of the self-wicking. So it requires highlight, so it's going to need to be in the window or be able to get sun. You can put it is an indoor plant, so I can't sit it outside, but it does definitely need to be by the window. So I'm going to use, or my intention may be to use this particular planter for it. But the way these work, as you can see on the inside, there's a drainage hole there. It comes with a plug. You can just pop that plug out if you need to. But usually you won't, because what you'll do is you'll put your water in here, and then you would sit your plant down in there in this container as is. And so the wick will draw up the water, and that way you don't have to worry about pouring, overwatering, because the plant drinks as it needs. So that's the great thing. If you're a new plant mom or dad and you're not sure about watering cycles and all of that, get self-watering planters. Now, like I said, these can get kind of pricey, so you don't have to necessarily get this brand from Lowe's. I put that video up. You can see the ones I ordered from Amazon that are very simple to use, and they work great. My plants that are in them have been thriving. But I just decided to get this one and get something, a little cute and different. I will say these are not plastic. These are breakable. These are probably ceramic planters, which is probably why they're a little bit pricier, because usually you do pay a little bit more for ceramic. But they are very nice and nice quality, and they, like I said, they come in lots of colors and designs. But this one was $5.98, and this is just the, what do they call it, the 0.5 liter or 0.53 quart size. So it'll hold, like, this is, my 10 ounce will fit in there, but the 15 ounce plant is a little too big, I think. Yeah, it's a little too big. Even though if you didn't care about the other pot showing, you can sit it in there because the wick will still reach the water. But I wouldn't want this to be showing, but it will, you want the next size up and this to fit that larger plant. But for this size plant, you can definitely fit it in here. You could probably go a little bit larger and maybe get like a 12 ounce plant, and it will probably fit perfectly. But this one, it seems to sink down in there. I don't know if I want to use that, but because this is a taller plant, it doesn't look like it's struggling when it's sitting down in there. So that's why I'm thinking that I might put this one in here. And it only requires, since it requires low light, and then I can place this somewhere, maybe on a shelf or something around the house. I may get some floating shelves or something later down the line to display the plants when it gets warmer, and then use the rack that some of my house plants are sitting on to hold some things outside, my outdoor like mint and all that when I get it. So that may be some changes coming later on down the line, but for now I think I am going to use this particular planter for this plant because it just looks better. This one literally sinks down in there, but it's so beautiful. Look at all the variation in the polka dot plant, like the colors, the reds, the greens, the pinks. It's a beautiful combination of plant. So that's why I bought it, and it was only 2 left. I'm very tempted to go back tomorrow and get the other one, so I'll think about it, and I may go back and check out some more planters and see if I can find maybe one a little bit smaller that this can fit in, because I would like to put this one in the self-watering. I know I have at least one more of for my current collection of self-watering that I'm going to put this bigger plant in. And so if not, I may order the smaller set from Amazon, because this will fit that set. The other one, this will go in, but you guys remember how this one started growing up and doing a lot, which they will do. This is a climbing plant, so that is something that it tends to do if you give it the room to do so. But I think I want to keep this one nice and compact, so I am going to leave it in here and let it grow out and fluffy versus up and stringy. So that's all I want to show you guys in terms of my plants. I guess you could say a plant haul. Let me know if you guys have acquired any new house plants recently. You guys know I also got my ZZ plant from IKEA, my second ZZ plant from IKEA last weekend, and I showed you a quick little clip on that, so I'll put that card up if you missed it. But either way, let me know if you guys have had experience with these self-watering planters and how you like those. One good perk I can say about self-watering planters, if you're wondering, besides not having to worry about over and under watering, is the fact that you can also reduce gnats if that's an issue for you. Sometimes when you are watering on top of the plant and the soil stays moist, because some plants do require kind of a moist soil environment, then it can draw fungus gnats, and you definitely don't want those little annoying things in your house. So that's one way to keep those away, is because the water is coming from the bottom, so you don't have that soil on top where they kind of can grow and be attracted to. So that's another perk to getting a self-watering planter, if you're wondering like what's so great about it, other than you don't have to really think about watering it as much. And of course you will eventually have to refill the planter, but all you would have to do is lift the plant out, put more water in, put it back in. So that's the only thing. And with these, you can't really see when the water's gone. So that's another thing with the ones I ordered off Amazon. The base that the water sits in is clear, so I can see when it's empty. So, but with this small one, it's not going to be a big of a deal. I'll just check it and kind of get an idea of how often the plant needs watering. So not a big deal at all. And most plants do kind of droop. If worse comes to worse, you know when it droops, put some more water in. All right, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. There will definitely be more plants coming soon.